Hey, it's Alex with LoverFighterWriter, and in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 limiting beliefs entrepreneurs must let go. So, beliefs are powerful. They can make or break your career as an entrepreneur. And it takes some of us years to realize that the best way to unleash our potential is to let go of limiting beliefs that we may be holding deep inside. So the following 3 examples are strong beliefs that I personally had to let go of in order to start getting consistent clients as a marketer and writer, and in order to start really seeing any success in my business. And the first one is no one will buy it. So when I started as a digital marketer, I literally couldn't give my services away. And I think that this is really a powerful belief, especially if you're selling either a service or a product that you worked really hard on, because then you're not just selling something, you're selling a part of yourself. And when I decided that I was going to start a marketing business, I had one friend who owned a small business tell me flat out that I would never succeed and that I shouldn't even try. And I had another friend who was also an entrepreneur accept my offer of free services and then change their mind about working with me when I told them that I had never really done it before, that I didn't have any experience. And they were basically just like, oh, you know what? No thanks. And so those 2 interactions pretty much destroyed any ounce of confidence I had at the time, which wasn't a lot, because of where I was coming from in my life. And it didn't help that I was pretty much broke because I had spent a big chunk of my savings on a $1,200 course that taught me almost nothing useful. And the thing is, the few small clients that I had in my first year of doing business really didn't help me break free of this belief. Instead, I had to make 2 distinct decisions. And those were to increase my knowledge and the quality of my work and raise my prices. So I pretty much dove headfirst into learning everything I could about digital marketing, about content writing and copywriting. I was reading blogs, I was watching YouTube, watching online courses, and just studying and practicing the craft of writing as much as I could. Now, I already had a strong base as a ghostwriter, but back then I wrote mostly books. And I felt, whether correctly or incorrectly, that I would be able to earn more as a copy and content writer for websites and blogs. And it wasn't long after that I started charging more for my services. And I started just saying no to people who couldn't or wouldn't pay what I felt they were worth, and just not wasting my time entertaining, tire kickers and lowballers. And I also started reaching out to ideal clients for collaboration rather than kind of, trying to get every single potential client that I came across. I just started reaching out to the people who I wanted to work with. And it wasn't long before one of them asked me to write a guest post for their blog. So that guest post ended up leading to us signing a $1,200 a month contract. And that contract got upgraded to $2,000 a month within the first 60 days. So overcoming this belief that no one would buy my services required some things of me. It required admitting to myself that even though I was already a good writer, I had room to improve and learn more skills that I could stack and make my work more valuable. It also required pushing myself away from the comforting familiarity of being a workhorse for low-paying clients, because even though that's not a great way to earn a living, it is a way to earn a living, and it's what I was used to at the time. Now, the second limiting belief that I had to let go of was that no one will like it. So the first one's no one will buy it. The second one's no one will like it. So in this case, I was worried that no one would appreciate either me or my services enough to give me a positive review or a referral. And this was a massive limiting belief for me, and I think that it affects a lot of people. The belief that no one likes us or that we're not good enough can be crippling, and it's pretty common. To overcome this one, I had to dive headfirst off a very different cliff than for the first one. I had to actually break ties with a client who was taking up way too much of my time and energy. Unfortunately, they were also my highest paying client at the time. And at that point, I didn't have a reliable lead generation system in place like I do now. So I knew that if I stopped working with my highest paying client, I'd really need to change some things and move fast to recover. And getting reviews and referrals from my other clients just seemed to make the most sense. After that client and I parted ways, I went on a week-long binge of asking current and past clients for reviews and referrals. I even asked friends and acquaintances for referrals and did some small jobs to get reviews. At the end of that week, I had some reviews, and I also had 2 new clients and a number of solid prospects. At the end of that month, I had more income than I had before I left my highest paying client. And overcoming this limiting belief really required just throwing myself into the deep end and letting go of the comfort of having that high paying client, and just trusting in my body of work and my skills to kind of carry me onward. It also required trusting other people, namely the people who I was asking for reviews and referrals, and realizing that the world wouldn't end if I got a bad review. And the third limiting belief that I'm going to talk about is the belief that we're not worthy of winning. So this is a huge one for me, and I'm still dealing with it in a lot of ways. Because imposter syndrome is a powerful thing, and it can strike at the craziest times. When I started to see consistent success in my business, I thought for sure it was random luck. After all, I'd certainly put in enough time. Maybe I was just finally getting some luck, right? And at a certain point, I actually switched from worrying about having income to worrying about losing the income that I had. And I never even took the chance to be grateful for it or enjoy it or feel like I had succeeded at anything. I just went right from worrying about one thing to worrying about the next thing. And when I noticed that I was worrying about different things, I decided to kind of take a step back and take full stock of my situation. And everything that I had learned and that I am grateful for and that I'm excited to do in the future kind of came together, and that really lifted me up out of my concern to a place that I hadn't really been in a long time, and I found a bit of peace. This required the willingness to hear my thoughts without judging them and step outside my worries. It required a shift in perspective that's really only possible after you've put in the work to develop a strong proficiency. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have some limiting beliefs that prevent them from reaching their full potential, and these 3 are just a few examples that I've been through, but I know that there are many others that I'm still dealing with and that I'll be dealing with for a long time. So I hope that this provided you with a small bit of perspective and insight. And if you're currently dealing with any limiting beliefs, or if you can think of any that you overcame in the past, feel free to leave them below with a comment, and I'll do my best to get back to you. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.